We got windows out, hatches off, mocking up the firewall currently. Almost have all the pieces made. Now we'll just trace it out the middle, get them welded up, cut all this out. Alright, so I forgot to show it after I finished welding it, but basically I just did sections like this for all the pieces. I already started seam sealing it, that's why I only had this one left to go. I did do a lot of seam sealer, but I really want it to be sealed tight, and I'll sand off some of the excess sealer on there. I have successfully ruined a perfectly good S13. Cut a lot into here because I want to. This is the fuel cell cage. Set it up there like that. I cut it lower so it can sit lower. I'm gonna plate across here so it's strong. And then these frame rails are going to slide up in here and get welded in here, so it's separating, it'll be strong again, welded up to the strut tower. And then the radiator will be back here. We got the line hookups in. We got the Rad Industries billet, water pump delete, and the upper water neck. Totally worth the money. I should have got a clip of it with the cover off. Looks very nice. These will come across the engine and go down that way. In the back here, we got all of this cut out. I just sprayed a little 415 in the frame rails to keep them nice and not rusty. So then here, we'll get a plate. The fuel cell will sit on top of the plate, and the frame rails will slide into here, and everything will get welded here, here, across the top of the subframe, as much as it can be welded. Got the frame all welded up here, just sitting in there, not welded up there yet. That's just sitting there. Debating on moving this up still because not a lot of room left here for the radiator to go. We'll see. That would mean cutting this whole firewall out that I just built, notching it in so this can sit way farther back. I'm gonna mark it out, see where it would sit. Here's what we got now. We got a whole cage to hold the fuel cell in that bolts in. 4 bolts here. Everything's just tacked together at the moment. And then once you pull this all off, you could slide it out this way. And this will stay on the frame, it's just tacked in there right now. And then I could put nutserts in for the straps on the back side too, right there. There we go. Alright, we're fitting this absolutely massive PWR radiator here. It's just sitting in there right now on that stand. It's not really in there. But this thing is huge. One of the massive perks of actually doing a rear mount radiator is how big of a radiator I could fit back here, because there's no chance this would ever fit in the front of the car. Comes with these 20 AN bongs already on it, which is really good. I just have step downs for my 16 AN lines, and I have bungs to go in here too. These are supposed to be drain ports, I think. I got fittings to go in there. They're gonna go to my swirl pot expansion tank. But dude, I hope this thing does some serious cooling, especially with these fans too. Spal brushless. I think they're almost 5,000 CFM. They're like 4,800, which is insane. And for the mounts, I got these rods here. I'm trying to work it out, but I think I'm gonna just, this is just sitting there right now. I'm probably gonna thread this, like put bolts through this plate, drill a hole, put this rod through it, weld the rod to the plate so I could bolt it all off if I ever want to. And then once the rod is on, I can kind of put one of these on there, something like that. So when I weld my bungs onto the radiator, it'll just run a bolt right through there. Alright, working on welding my bungs on the radiator here. I'm not a master welder, but I'll take it, not bad. Alright, I got a bad habit of working too much and not recording enough, so the radiator is fully bolted in, very sturdy. Happy with how that came out. I'm working on the lines. I got the water pump in too right there. It's the Davies Craig water pump. Bolts to the top of my fuel cell here, and I got a bolt in the bottom of the frame down there. Hoping this isn't going to be too tight of a line or an angle. I'm gonna just make one, see how it looks. This line is gonna run down and under the water pump there and out that hole. I got my expansion tank in here. This is also a swirl pot from Radium. Super nice piece. I made a bracket for it to bolt to the firewall. These lines will come down, and one will go here and one will go down there. And I got lines made under the car, so let me show you that real quick. Alright, here's my aluminum coolant lines under the car. I made these brackets out of 2 sway bar mounting brackets. Cut them, weld them together, and it works very nice. One bolt to hold both of them. And I got 2 of those brackets. Welded these 16 AN bungs on here. Not a professional welder, but there we go. Probably do 45s, maybe even 60-degree fittings to go up there. And this is the back side. So this piece is nice. It's from Motion Raceworks billet. This goes into the back seat, and it will go out that hole on the top I just showed you. And I gotta see if these lines will also be too tight of an angle or not. I think they'll work all right. Alright, working on this little line here. These aluminum vice jaws, so worth it. I like to do a little bit of silicone lubricant in there. That thing started. Grab our AN wrench here. Always got line flat spots up. Come on now. All right. Let's see if that'll work. It's looking good. Right. That looks good. Sweet. Got some paint down here. Looking good. Interior also painted. Let's get everything back in here. Getting this thing almost all together. Don't mind the wiring, I'm working on that right now, so it's kind of temporarily laid out everywhere. I got these Lexan windows from Plastics for Performance. Not sponsored, but super nice pieces. I mean, if I didn't have these bolts in here, you would probably think it's glass. We got a radium remote fill cap here. I just smoked a hole saw through this, and it turned out very nice. I'll get a clip of me filling it up. It'll probably look pretty cool through the clear hose. This vent is something a lot of people look over, including me. When I had the fuel cell down here, I just had the vent running straight out and onto the car, and it would dump fuel all the time. And I gotta clean this up a little bit, get it a little more lined. But the idea is you want this to come up straight up for pretty much as long as you can. So any fuel that makes it past there will go straight back down. And these loops are just in case some does. The fuel will get trapped in the bottom and the vapors can still go out. And then I just have a breather filter right there. So I need to put a clamp on that. Got the fans wired up. I'll get a clip of that. They're sweet. Water pump is wired up. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna fire up the fans here. This is ECU Master software. I'm not an expert on this, I'm still figuring stuff out. Activation temperature, you know, whatever you want. For this, you do 0 because it's built into the fan. My output is 5, yours will be whatever. The rest, time to engage, I do 0. I read these are supposed to be set up for 120 hertz, but ECU Master only goes up to 100. So that's what I did for that. And I think 5 is the lowest and 95 is the highest. I've been playing with it. I don't think it works anything lower or higher. I think that's the range you need. And then I've been playing with the proportional gain. It kind of just affects how much the fans will ramp up or down depending on the temperature. So now we'll invert the output and they should fire up. See how slow they're coming up? They are ripping. Probably can't even hear me. I really just did this so, like a hot day at the track, hop under here. I'm cooling, baby. Time has come to put some coolant in this thing. See if we have any leaks. I have a Toyota Pink, but just because I work here, so you do not need Toyota Pink. Bust this thing open, and I predict this thing is going to hold a lot more than 2 gallons. So let's see, that's all I brought over here.
2 gallons in, but I doubt this thing is done. So now would be a good time to show my water pump controller right in here. Look at that. You can hear it come right on. And you can control your fans through this too if you want to, but I like it through my ECU. So I think to manually command it on, I have to hold this. Yep, there it goes. We'll let that thing run. See if we can get some coolant through this thing. Had to have a little bit of change of plans here. I had to move the water pump from there where it was to inside my box there. See if I can show you. It's in the box there, which will have a lid on it so it won't be exposed. But I have to end up cracking. Now there's coolant everywhere also, so you could tell what I was doing. I had to crack open every line. Mainly, the one that made the biggest difference was the one right in the front of the water pump that feeds it. And there's just so much air there. And it like wasn't possible to get a wrench in here to crack that open. So if I would ever have to do that at the track, it would have been horrible. So it's much easier accessibility in there. Now it's just time for some testing. Here's a hole cut out the window to feed the air through the radiator. Let's go to the dyno and see how she does. Back from the dyno, car did amazing. Didn't even see 200 degrees running on the dyno for 2 hours, doing full throttle pulls and driving an hour there and an hour to get back. Very happy with it. Don't expect this to be done in a few days if you're doing it. This took several months, lots of hours of work, but in the end it's worth it.